Waka waka. We're singing Christmas tunes tonight, everyone. Can you hear us? I don't know. Who really knows? What's going on?
You gotta do it more like Peter McKinnon. You gotta throw the what. What's going on?
What's going on? Bonesaw is ready. You think Bonesaw will come back? We'll have a 30-minute conversation about Bonesaw.
Bonesaw.
Yeah. If you guys can hear us, give us some pizza in the chat. I don't know why. I'm hungry. I'm so hungry.
I like pizza.
I want some pizza. Yummy, yummy, yum. Stop giving me all these ads. All right, we're going to kick off. Hopefully this is working. I want pizza. Oh, I'm 16.
I'm not 16.
Take my by the hand. Ooh, we gotta turn this on, don't we? Ooh, look at our beautiful faces. Ooh, yeah. What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to JBuck Studios, JBuck Live, your weekly show of... I don't even know anymore. It's supposed to be movie news and nonsense and whatnot. And I mean, surprisingly, this week we do have a lot of movie news. But also, I am joined by NPA himself.
What's up?
What's going on, sir? Third and final week. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to let you go after this.
Okay? I got nothing.
doesn't even have to fight about it. But
I'm out.
Yeah, he's out of here. He's an Addy 3000. I don't know, man. We're talking movie news. We're hanging out. Of course, we're live on YouTube. We're live on TikTok. What's going on, everyone? Nolan, what's happened since the last week?
Literally nothing.
Literally nothing. That's the thing. Is I wrote down. I said, "What's been going on?" Nothing.
Nothing. We've been hanging out in your basement.
Yeah.
I played Miles Morales. That was fun.
Yeah. Tell the people. No spoilers, obviously, but your thoughts of PS5 Miles Morales, because you literally binged through
the whole game.
Spider-Man PS4 and then over to Miles Morales. Literally all of Miles Morales last night.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I don't have a PlayStation, but Jared does, and I've been hanging out at JBuck Studios North in Des Moines here. And yeah, so I played Spider-Man PS4 last week. It's a longer game than Miles Morales, but it's also fantastic. And then Jared got a coveted PS5. How many grandmas did you wrestle for that? 5, 7?
It was only 6, but there was Jello. so that's pretty tough, man.
Yeah, slippery.
Yeah, if you ever try wrestling a pig greased up in KY, imagine 5 or 6 grandmas with Jello.
And it smells worse.
It was, because it wasn't lime. It was, what's a bad Jello?
All of them?
All of them. Yeah, it was all of them. It was a rainbow. Just
all of them.
Throw the Jello out there. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. I got a PS5 because I wrestled some grannies.
Wrestling grannies.
But yeah, you literally played through all of Miles Morales. I think you have one mission.
Yeah.
And it's funny because I haven't even gotten there.
Yeah. I passed you somehow. Yeah.
Yeah, you are unlocking trophies for my PlayStation 5.
It's not a super long game, but it's very, very good, and it's really fun. And Miles has his combat's all different from what Peter Parker's was, so it feels very scrappy. And Miles, like, Spider-Man's always like a lightweight kind of character, and Miles even more so. He just feels like he can fling him around anywhere and start punching bad guys. So that's a lot of fun. I really like it. I think it's a lot of fun.
Yeah, again, I was watching you play 4, and I hadn't touched the PlayStation 4 version since it came out, and I was like, oh man, I need to go back and play this game on the PS5, so it looks good. But then jumped into Miles Morales because I kind of got an update of the story through all of your play time and watching. But yeah, basically we've just been hanging out, watched him play Spider-Man. We've gotten quite a bit of work requests. Apparently, Room 56. Look at that. Ooh. Boom, we got merch, people. So yeah, if you're out there, obviously we run a company, room56studios.com. video production, editing, music, engineering,
We need like
audio.
a fun jingle.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We need to get a local
What's
commercial.
the freecreditreport.com? We need something that catchy.
Room56studios.com.
Nailed it.
Boom. Right there, people. Boom.
Signed and delivered.
Yeah, but we've been getting a lot of requests, so I mean, not to toot our own horn, but doot doot. And then I've been editing, and also Nolan, you've been editing some reaction videos for myself.
That's right.
Surprise!
Oh, you know what we should do?
What?
I should do a reaction to your reaction.
And then I'll do a reaction to your.
Oh my god!
It's infinite content, people. We never have to do anything. It's just us watching our videos over and over.
Self-generating
and over
content.
Yep.
That's right.
Honestly, I don't really have anything else. Obviously, you guys saw the title. We're gonna be talking about some Spiderman 3. Alfred Molina. I know you're a
Spider-Man 3, the Schneider Cut.
Yep.
That's what I'm
I know
starting
that
to call
you
it.
are a big fan of the Spiderman. And then we were talking about some some Warner Brothers and kind of what they're doing with their slate, because last week I think they always release news on like a Wednesday or Thursday, and I did a live video of kind of reacting to kind of the release schedule of Warner Brothers, so we're going to talk about that and then sort of some backlash, but again, very much a laid back chill show. We're going to talk about, I just put Mandalorian in there if we want to talk about some spoilers and stuff, because we didn't really have too much time to talk about it. And then also some live Q&A. So if you people on TikTok, you people on YouTube have some questions for us about music, movies, anything and everything, our favorite food, I guess, let us know in the chat. But yeah, I don't have any quickies. I didn't do any. But I will say, I'm going to play the visuals of quickies, because I was told from a viewer, Seth Ott, in the chat, that apparently I might have a lawsuit against Sony here, because they stole my Quickie startup image as the PlayStation 5 intro screen. So we're gonna play it, because I want to see. Yeah, they're stolen. They're stepping on my turf here. So let's play it. Okay, so people who own a PS5, let me know if they stole that. Actually, no. After watching it, it looks eerily similar. It's not the exact same though.
Yeah, it's just the navy blue background with like pixelated dots, whatever. But I mean, Sony did it better, is what I'll say.
Whoa!
Why
would you do that? Why would you say that? We got a huge budget here at JBuck Studios, enough to not even get lunch. I'd have you buy my lunch today.
I did buy your lunch today.
Yeah. We didn't drop a credit card this time. A funny story I'll have to tell maybe at the end of this. But let's just get into it. Again, no quickies. There's no trailer talk this week. It's just us chilling, doing our thing. But the first up, what do I even have? Warner Bros. And Christopher Nolan. Warner Bros.
And Christopher Nolan.
And Nolan.
That's me.
That's you.
I'm Christopher Nolan.
He's Christopher Nolan.
Nice to meet you.
So I'm going to lay this out, because I don't know how familiar you are with it, the people in the chat. But last week, Warner Brothers came out and they broke the world. The movie going audiences are in for a treat, potentially. So 17 of their movies, Warner Brothers movies, are coming to the movie theaters and HBO Max the same day. What do you think about that?
I mean, it's pretty wild. It's something that I think has been coming for a long time, and then the pandemic just fast-tracked it. You know, because as streaming services were becoming more commonplace, more sophisticated, more popular, movies were hitting there. I mean, I think the end was in sight as soon as they put Avengers on Disney Plus. I mean, you can watch blockbusters on a friggin' app on your phone. That's pretty crazy. So I think that was like every movie studio kind of had to look at that and be like, okay, you know, maybe we need to kind of think ahead. And then boom, COVID. And so they ran out of time almost instantly. To say, though, that... So, like, Warner Brothers was the first one to make this leap. I don't think they'll be the last one.
No, and we're gonna. I want to definitely have a conversation about this with you people in the chat and you yourself. But I'm gonna lay out some more facts. But obviously, Warner Brothers came out. 17 of their biggest movies are coming to HBO Max and movie theaters at the same exact time, which is great for people who stay at home, don't want to spend the money, want to stay safe, and that's the biggest thing. Is right now it's not safe to really go a lot of places, so staying home is the best bet. But obviously, Christopher Nolan is very much upset about this decision. He's been one that's been very vocal because his movie Tenet came out to the movie theaters in July. That was kind of Warner Brothers, and honestly, everyone, all of these studios, even moviegoers, were looking to see if this would be the jumpstart to the movie-going audience that, they needed. A lot of people are blaming him for killing the movie theaters. I think that is foolish. As a giant studio company corporation, money. That's your main thing, is money. Unfortunately, that you're not looking for creativity. You're looking for what's going to generate the most income. And the funny thing is, it didn't do the numbers here in the U.S. that they needed. It did 300+ million across overseas. Over here, not so much.
I can't imagine what their expectations were. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
I mean, Jared and I were talking about this earlier, that if ever there was a director to bring people to a theater just on the director's name alone, it'd probably be Christopher Nolan. I mean, there's a handful of others, but Christopher Nolan is huge. Mm-hmm. And so when Tenet didn't do well, I have a hard time saying that it's like, oh, it's his fault. It's more like, oh, they tested it with the best possible thing they could test it with.
Yeah, one of the best.
The market's not there.
They could have tried with Wonder Woman, but I think that they were like, that's our second go-to.
Yeah,
let's try with this Tenet one, summer blockbuster, the Nolan name, even though I would say a comic book maybe carries more prestige for the casual movie fan.
Possibly.
Potentially. Again, who really knows? But the thing is, they needed a movie to throw out there and hope for the best. That's what they went with, was Tenet. Yeah. And unfortunately, it didn't go the way that they thought. And, whatever, that's what's going to happen. So obviously they came out with all of these movies that they said that they are going to now release on the HBO platform. Nolan is calling HBO basically the worst streaming service ever, really upset, basically ruining the movie landscape moving forward. And the thing is, like, he's the one that's kind of making headlines. He's the one with the movie that was the last one to come out, but a lot of actors, actresses, production companies, other directors are kind of upset about this, a little wary, because Wonder Woman is the first one that this is happening for. Mm-hmm. And I honestly, and again, I don't work at Warner Brothers. I have no studio knowledge or anything, but I think that they should have waited until that movie came out and then made a decision.
This kind of announcement.
Yeah, which seems a little weird because they made that, then waited, I think maybe a month or two, and then made this big decision. Did you have something?
Well, yeah, I think the issue there is, it's coming up on year end, and shareholders and investors, they want to know what to expect going forward. They don't want to be blindsided by something like this, and I think a lot of people forget that these companies, they answer to their shareholders. They don't. At the end of the day, they don't care about
business,
you.
Yeah,
it's a business. So they basically had to make a plan. And my guess is that once they announced Wonder Woman was going to be on HBO Max, their stock price shot up maybe a little bit, and they saw that as the strategy. They're like, you know what? People seem to like that, so that's what we're going to do. I don't think they have time as a luxury to kind of plan this out. Yep. And I think Disney's Investors Day meeting is Thursday, right?
Yes.
I think we're going to hear some wild stuff about that too. On Thursday.
Which I wrote down. I want to talk about that a little bit with you too. But the thing is, like I was saying, a handful of people were upset, and I guess one of the incentivizing things that Wonder Woman had going for it is to, I guess, allow, I don't even know because the studio owns the film, but Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot both were given a nice 10 mil to allow this to happen. All of these other films
allowed,
allowed, which is so funny. All of these other films, it came out that they didn't get offered anything. And I understand, for example, I was reading a bunch of stuff, and James Gunn, he's doing the new Suicide Squad, should be a big moneymaker. I mean, the first one made, I think, $1 billion, and it wasn't even a good movie.
My God.
Now, the problem with him being a bit upset is, he's flexible with where movies release. He's, all of that in the filmmaking process. But in his contract, He wanted money on the back end rather than up front.
Oh, big mistake.
That
well, at the time it wasn't
exactly.
a mistake. That was the right thing.
That was the right thing to do because if you're taking money on the back end,
you make
potentially
way more.
looking at the movie, the first one made $1 billion. That's a fuckload of money. That is why some of these people are upset because they made these deals in a time that there was certainty, and now there's literally no one knows what's happening. So James Gunn's a good example of he could have made a butt ton of money on the back end. Still could, but it's going to be lesser than what it is.
Well, and it's a reason to be worried. I mean, I know we're talking about no matter what, he's probably going to make a couple $1 million off this, but people like James Gunn who he's nice and wealthy, I'm sure, but he doesn't necessarily have just fuck you money where he can do whatever he wants whenever. And I think he pours a lot of his money into independent projects and passion projects and stuff. So, I mean, he legitimately might actually need this money. And I would say he's worked for it with the amount of things that he's been doing in the last few years. Of course, money and the inflation of such in the film industry is a little weird to talk about. But this is messing with people's lifestyles now. So.
And the thing is, obviously, this is all business. We've kind of touched on that a little bit. And with, these other filmmakers, directors, stars, essentially, of these big movies like Keanu Reeves, Matrix 4, and whatnot, they're now coming out and saying, hey, how come we didn't get treated the same way? And you're essentially dumping our movie on streaming platforms. Now, I find this as a weird roundabout thing where Warner Brothers needs to make money.
Yeah.
Money, the biggest money you're going to make is the movie theaters, but right now that is not the case.
It's not an option.
You had to find a new option. They're going with this.
Yep.
If this is their way of making money, how come now, because it did come out a couple hours ago, that they are now taking meetings with Will Smith, Keanu Reeves, all of these people that have movies coming out to then give them some money?
Yeah.
Are they not going to make money anywhere?
I don't know. I mean, probably not.
Because if you're taking all of these 17 movies that they announced, I would say 5 to 6, 7 are huge.
Yeah.
Those people are definitely coming forward and be like, I need my money now.
Yeah.
Or I need a chunk of change. Therefore, box office going down right off the bat. It's like one of those things where it's like there's literally no winning.
Yeah. Well, and the thing that I think something else we talked about earlier today was it's got to be tough. I mean, you talk about Will Smith, probably the biggest name maybe in American cinema. I don't know. I mean, he's everywhere.
The Rock.
Yeah.
I mean, he's top 5, top 10.
He's there. He's up there. And Will Smith, when you put him in a movie, I mean, first of all, you're paying him a lot of money to be in your movie because his name is going to bring you clout. Because his name will bring people to the theater. And now people aren't going to the theater, and so that's hurting his money as well. And he could have taken other opportunities that would have paid better. I don't know. I mean, I think what initially happened was they bribed Gal Gadot, and they just said, like, here's a bunch of money, shut up about it.
Yeah. Just be okay. Tweet and say, I'm excited for this.
Yeah, I wouldn't necessarily look at that as like, oh, we came to an agreement. It was, no, the studio said this is what it's going to be, shut up.
Yep.
And they shot themselves in the foot, I think, by doing that, because now the Will Smiths of the world, who are very powerful, are going to be like, well, you did that with them, you're going to have to work with us now too. And it might be something where Warner Brothers, I mean, they have money, they're not going to, I don't think this is going to bankrupt them.
No.
But it might be something where they kind of saw this coming and they're like, look, we're just going to have a really rough 2021.
2022, 23.
In the hopes that if we treat our customers right, and if we can work out something with these actors, that we'll have more longevity. I mean, that's the approach that a company as old as them would take, I would hope. But I don't know, maybe we're watching the Warner Brothers crash and burn before our eyes. I mean, who knows?
I mean, who really knows? And I know that a couple of the news articles I read, they mentioned that this is going to be temporary 2021, but I guess they brought in some analysts and whatnot that do a lot of testing and whatnot, and they
analyzing.
Said, analyzing, that once studios or audiences get used to something, they want it moving forward, where this could potentially, again, change the landscape moving forward. Cody in the chat is saying that, this whole thing's going to have more legal issues than the election. Oh, who really knows? Because that brings up a whole thing of, these directors, actors,
Well, and we don't know what was
filmmakers,
in the
production.
contracts.
No, we don't. And that's the thing is, I don't even think probably those original ones had anything
Probably
like
not.
a
I mean,
pandemic,
why would they? Yeah.
a pandemic release or a
Clause,
clause or
yeah.
something like that.
Well, and it also asks the question like how much control does the actor get over the release of the movie? I mean, should they even?
Well,
I mean, they are just the actor, right? I don't know.
Because the studio owns it.
Right? Yeah. They don't. Own
You're
it.
an employee of the studio. It's a weird.
In a way, they own you.
Exactly, it's this weird thing, or you're a consultant essentially, like you boil it down to that or whatnot. But yeah, so people are kind of saying like, oh, this could potentially not be like it could go past 2021.
It could.
But also it's like, well, is this a smart thing? Obviously, they're looking out for the safety, but also if you're paying all of these people money, there's no winning. But then
not right now.
No, there really isn't. It's like, do you want to get the art out there to the people, or do you want to keep it on the shelf and hopefully make money in the future? Because it's not like it's a fruit where it's going to go bad.
Yeah.
People might lose taste for it because, like, oh, I'm looking for a comic book movie right now, but then you don't get it for 3 years, and it's like,
Well, we're all kind of feeling that way with Black Widow, right? I mean, that movie's been done 6 months now, and I think we're all just like, let's watch the movie. I want to see the movie, but it's just shelved, and we don't really know yet. Do we have a tentative date even on when it's going to come out
for a Black Widow?
Yeah,
we will find out probably Thursday.
Thursday, yeah,
probably Thursday, because that's another thing I want to bring up. That legal troubles, like Cody had brought up in the chat, Legendary, who is, I guess, like a subsidiary or something of Warner Brothers for Kong Skull Island and one other movie. They're going to court. They're going to they're following legal issues with these because they were, from what it sounds like, everyone was told
the rights, probably.
Everyone was told like literally 30 minutes before they announced it, like, hey, just a heads up, your movie's going to streaming. Bye-bye. So that's a whole issue right there. But you brought up Disney. Movies are not fruit. That's what, hey, if anyone is wondering what you take away from this episode, movies are not fruit. But this Thursday is Disney's investors meeting, and I read somewhere, and again, maybe some of these numbers are a little bit wrong. I think it's usually around 2.5 or 3.5 hours. Don't quote me there, look it up. But they said that this one is more towards 4.5, 5 hours.
It's probably going to be super long.
And with that being said, they've got to have some sort of, this is what we're doing. Because
they have to.
Because
They
Soul,
literally
Soul is doing exactly what Wonder Woman is doing.
Well, is it even releasing in theaters alongside streaming?
That I don't know.
I don't think it is.
I don't know.
I think it's only going to Disney Plus.
Exclusive to Disney Plus. Well, if that's the case, then that's
even,
similar but a little bit different.
Yeah. I would actually say notably different because in the Warner Brothers case, movie theaters are hoping to make some money off it. And so I think people probably saw that AMC was all pissed off at Warner Brothers too.
Yeah.
Which AMC, of anyone, has the least amount of control over the situation. But, they weren't happy with it either, obviously. But Pixar straight up was like, yeah, no, don't count on anything. We're just going to do it ourselves. Which, if you're wanting people to download your app to see your movie, that's probably the better way to do that. And at least they're not doing like the Mulan of it all, where it's going to cost extra money.
They were the first ones to do that as well.
Yeah.
They learned their lesson.
Yeah, and people aren't really giving them flack for that enough. They charge $30
on top
of your $8 a month to see Mulan. It was like, no, I'm not doing that. That's ridiculous. But they're just giving us Soul now because we're paying subscribers to Disney Plus, and I think that's pretty cool. Yeah, on Thursday we're gonna definitely hear some pretty wild stuff. I think because I think Disney got slightly lucky because they were already investing in content for Disney Plus.
Yes,
which is a streaming service, which was before COVID-19 really hit. So they just lucked out because they already have Mandalorian Season 2 coming out, which is doing extremely well for the platform. They have all these Marvel series coming out as soon as January of next year. Isn't WandaVision in January? Yeah, so they have content that is going to the place it was originally meant to go to. So good on them. I think they got lucky more than anything.
You're absolutely right, where it's like, hey, you're trying to grow these streaming platforms. They released last year. They've done fairly well. I would say. I mean, not a lot of new content, but a lot of people I know have it. Mando definitely riding this one out, but WandaVision, God knows what they're going to say with these movies potentially. Like, hey, these X movies that were supposed to come out, boom, they're on Disney Plus. Yeah. Or they combine Hulu with Disney Plus, because we've been talking about that a little bit too, where there could be this whole shakeup of Disney Plus being like almost a part in Hulu. Again, I am
like a page in it or something. Yeah.
Who knows? Who really knows? Because I know that they have a controlling share in it. You said.
Yeah, they have a controlling interest. Mm-hmm. They own the majority of shares in Hulu.
Yep.
It would be pretty easy for them to do that, but also it would be pretty easy for like a monopolization charge to come against them if someone were to sue, because Hulu is a huge name, huge competitor to everything else, including Disney Plus. So if you buy out the competition, there could be a lot of legal issues with that too. Mm-hmm. So I don't know what their move's going to be. I don't know. And also, I mean, people that buy Hulu and people that buy Disney Plus, both of those benefit Disney. Yeah. So I don't know. Maybe they don't care about combining them. I don't know. You know, I know a lot of people like myself. I rewatched all of Kim Possible on Disney Plus and Phineas and Ferb. I mean, it has good content. It's just not new content.
Yeah.
But it's stuff that I watched as a kid. They sold you nostalgia.
Yeah.
On your streaming platform, Disney Plus. It's nostalgia for $9 a month or whatever. And that's pretty powerful. I don't know that Netflix could ever really compete with that, especially with The Office leaving at the end of this month. Netflix is going to, and they're raising prices. Netflix is going to have a rough year, I think, next year.
I mean, they have the name, they have the thing where a lot of people already have it. That's a whole nother conversation. But yeah, definitely Warner Brothers is trying something new. We'll see how it pans out. We'll see what Disney has to say later this week, which I'm sure I'll probably do a spur of the moment news story over that and whatnot. But let us know in the chat what you think of this whole Warner Brothers thing. Do you think it's a good thing, a bad thing? Are you indifferent? Do you think it's solely one person's fault? Do you think that the studio needs to make right instead of not giving these people involved essentially a heads up? I'd be curious to hear what your thoughts are. I know Crunchy in the chat is saying Mulan became free on Disney Plus eventually. Yeah, it's currently on there. I think honestly a week ago they added it for free on Disney Plus. I have not watched it yet.
Really?
Yeah, it's on there.
That makes me even more mad. Stick by your decision, because now people paid $30 for it. It's that they didn't have to.
Exclusivity is time exclusivity. It's one of those things where if you want it now, you pay for it and whatnot. But moving on, our next story, one that honestly just keeps going and going and going, and they're adding in so many people. Literally everyone is back for Spider-Man 3. Tom Holland's Spider-Man 3, God knows what it is, a home sweet home.
No, not even God knows what it is.
Actually, you're right. Nobody truly knows what this is. But over the last weeks, months, and whatnot, I feel like every week we get a new I need to do a spider watch, essentially, like a segment, because every week there's new news about this. And today it came out that Alfred Molina, a.k.a. Doc Ock from Spider-Man 2, what was that, 2004?
Something like that?
It was early 2000s.
Sam Raimi classic, Spider-Man 2.
Yep. He has accepted and whatnot to come back for this Spider-Man 3 movie, whatever the hell it is. But also, trickling in over the day was they have approached Kristen Dunst, who's pretty much on board. Tobey Maguire, they're still working with money, which is funny because I guarantee that after news came out that how many people want him back, he's like, 50 million.
If not more, yeah.
But it's going to be 30 seconds. 50 million. It's like, God damn you, Toby.
Fine, we'll move it to 25 seconds. 55 million.
Yep. So basically, Jamie Foxx, Electro, Alfred Molina, Doc Ock, Emma Stone, Andrew Garfield, Tobey Maguire, Kristen Dunst. Maybe we'll get someone to reprise Bonesaw's role. What the hell do you think is happening right now?
I'm almost at a loss of words. Yeah. So like you said earlier, I love Spider-Man, and especially I love Tom Holland's portrayal of Spider-Man in the MCU. I think that he's just perfect for the role, and I think Spider-Man: Homecoming was probably one of my favorite films of the 2010s, because it's just so much fun. Everything about it's just nice and fun and light, and Tom Holland's excellent. Don't have to say too much more about it, but you're bringing all these different people in, these past Spider-Men characters. WandaVision and the Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness movies are coming out that are clearly going to be talking about alternate realities and multidimensional travel and all that. So, I mean, they're setting the stage for Tom Holland to basically fumble his way through the Sam Raimi movies and the whoever the hell directed the Amazing Spider-Man movies. I don't even know. They probably shouldn't have. But they're setting it up so Tom Holland can just go on some joyride through 20 years of Sony Spider-Man movies. And I feel certain types of ways about that. Mostly that why. I mean, it's not... I don't think a lot of people were really excited about this until they're like, oh, look at all these actors we got, and everyone's like,
what that Spider-Verse cartoon, now it's live action.
And like, I don't think we needed that.
So I was reading a bunch of things today because it sounds like all of these people are coming back. It's just a matter of pricing, a matter of time. But the story, no one knows anything about the story, and they were saying that there's potentially two different ways to look at this. It's a multiverse where they are kind of, I don't know, somehow coming... The reason that it's only Electro and Molina is because they're saying that Electro... he basically exploded, but that what had exploded,
he's the big villain.
It went into a new, like, he literally was like shocked into a different universe with all of that power. Same with Doc Ock, where wasn't he making a fusion reactor or something, and you never really saw him like die or explode. It just kind of like imploded, so it could be a thing where he is sucked into that world too. So there's a few people that are saying that, where it's multiverse and whatnot, but also there's this whole theory of them just reprising their roles in that universe. Just for funsies. Yeah. Just like J. Jonah Jameson, spoilers, people, where he is in that universe, and it's just, you accept it.
So he's J.K. Simmons is J. Jonah Jameson in the Sam Raimi movies, and he is also J. Jonah Jameson in the MCU.
Yep.
And I don't think that it's implied that they're the same person, just like two instances of the same person, you know? I don't know. I mean, it's very, like, I'm afraid of it turning out like I'm sure Snyder Cut's going to turn out. Because every time we've seen a Spider-Man movie that just packs a bunch of people in. We've seen it twice now with Spider-Man 3 from Sam Raimi and The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Whenever they try to pack a bunch of people in, the movie's a freaking mess.
Yep.
I mean, movies in general, excuse me, with the exception of Infinity War and Endgame, movies typically struggle when they have more than like 6 characters that are like major influences on the plot. And even that might not even be the correct number, but you know what I mean? Like, even Infinity War people, like, you could have pacing issues with it because that movie is non-stop because it has so many characters that it's trying to juggle. I don't want that feeling with Spider-Man. And also, like, personally, I thought Far From Home was kind of disappointing. And I wanted to spend more time with Tom Holland just being Spider-Man. And with the way that it's shaping up, I don't think we're going to get that in Spider-Man 3. There's going to be so much plot if you are going to try to explain all these people, if they're not just like throwaway cameos of, oh, there's Alfred Molina, bye. Like, I don't know what they're going to do.
Because I kind of have 2 different theories of this where, I think that it's like, God, I just want to know. I'm curious. I don't know if I really want it. I don't want it. I think the biggest thing is like, what the hell is going on? I honestly think that it's going to be... Because if you bring them all in, it's overshadowing Tom Holland. I think a lot of people kind of agree where if you're bringing back these legacy characters that a lot of people grew up with, especially Tobey Maguire, overshadowing Tom Holland instantly. But I think that it's going to be a thing where he somehow gets sucked through like a portal and it's just glimpses of these people. But if you're doing that, then it's like...
But why?
Why?
Or why not just superimpose Tom Holland on existing footage? Why get these actors to come back? I don't know.
I mean, it's this weird thing where, and I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts in the comments on TikTok and also on YouTube. to understand where your mindset is, because again, I am just confused and baffled by everything. I think it's cool. I just hope that they're not looking at the success of Spider-Verse
and
then trying to just ham fist certain characters in, because the thing is they're picking certain characters. There's no word yet of Dane DeHaan as the Green Goblin from that universe. There's no word of the Sandman. There's no word of Defoe coming back.
Please God, don't bring Topher Grace back.
There's no word. Oh, well, Seth in the chat wants Topher Grace apparently.
Ugh, gross.
Yeah, because I mean he's out of work. He's not doing that 70s show anymore.
That's right. 70s end.
But and then there's no Rhino. Like there's a lot of these characters that were there. But they're kind of, and the thing is, the ones that they've picked, people have kind of pointed to that theory of, there's a reason that they got sucked out of that world and into a potential different universe because of this power. But I am baffled by everything, because then the thing is, for people out there that don't know, obviously Sony is the one that owns Spider-Man. You have Venom 2, you have Morbius, you have this Madam Spider or Madam Web movie, all of this stuff. I'm curious.
Yeah, and I guess there's all these rumors of Tom Holland appearing in Venom 2.
Yep.
And there's clear like we saw in the trailer for Venom 2, references to Spider-Man.
Morbius.
That was Morbius?
Yeah, we haven't gotten a Venom 2 trailer yet.
Ah.
Yeah. But no, because
they blend.
Morbius, because the thing is, they'll just flow right into each other, because that one scene you're talking about.
Morbius, it's like wall art of Spider-Man. So clearly, I don't know if it's Tom Holland. I mean, maybe Sony intends to use Spider-Man 3 to bring Andrew Garfield or Tobey Maguire back into the mix as Spider-Man. I think Tobey Maguire would probably be too old at this point, but I don't know. But yeah, clearly there's a plan. I'm surprised that this is going through Kevin Feige. And he's just like, that's cool. Like, because, Sony makes the Spider-Man movies, but basically Marvel still has to sign off on it. Like, that's the agreement. And so, I mean, they're not going to do something that Marvel is going to be like, no, we're not going to handle this mess. So whatever it is they're doing, the guys at Marvel are saying, yeah, that's cool. We like that. Which... baffling to me why they would want to make everything this complicated.
I don't know, man.
I remember when Thor Ragnarok the trailers were coming out and stuff, like there was the huge style switch, and Taika Waititi was coming out for the first time, and a lot of people were like, what the hell is this movie? But it wasn't that you were just beyond confused about it. You were like, oh, this is going to be really weird and different, isn't it? And then you went and saw it, and it was really weird and different and awesome. Like, they did great. I don't want them to see, or I don't want to see them just try to make stuff, as crazy and confusing as possible for the movie comes out, just to, trick you into what you're going to see. I don't know. I mean, clearly I'm not super excited for it. I kind of wish that they would just focus on telling a good Spider-Man story instead of trying to get a bunch of legacy characters that I've seen before.
Yeah.
Give me Tom Holland.
I'm honestly, I don't know. Because I want, a standalone Spider-Man movie, but I think that they're going to somehow ham fist everything in. I hope that, if anything, it sets it up rather than this being the multiverse movie.
Yeah,
because
it'd be great if these guys were just in, some post-credit scenes.
Yeah.
Because our Spider-Man still has some stuff to deal with after Spider-Man 2.
Yep.
with spoilers, but they reveal his identity.
Yep, someone in the chat just said, Reaction Life 21, what's going on? Since everyone knows who Spider-Man, the word got around now that his old enemies are going to try to kill him because he essentially kind of ruined their lives and stuff. So there's that going on. The one thing, I think, didn't Alfred Molina at the end kind of, find... Not find Jesus, but kind of had a turning moment.
A come to Jesus moment.
Yeah.
He ended up good, but who's to say that things would stay that way?
I mean, it could be also tying into the video game where the tentacles and the chip corrupts him.
Well, yeah, because that's what had done it in that movie as well. So the Spider-Man game maintains that the chip only elevated feelings that were already there, and so that Peter in the game realizes, it wasn't just the chip making him do these things. He always wanted to, and the chip just kind of freed him to do it. I don't know. I mean, there's any number of ways to explain how Doc Ock could come back and still be bad. And, I mean, if someone's going to play Doc Ock again, I would love for it to be Alfred Molina. He was amazing in that role. And I mean, Tobey Maguire, too, was fantastic as Spider-Man. So, I mean, there are worse things to do here, but I think it's weird to expand on Sam Raimi's story without him involved. I think it's weird to...
He is doing Multiverse of Madness.
Is he really?
He is.
I didn't know that.
Yep. So it's a thing where...
And who the fuck knows?
And again, it's one of those weird things where they brought him on board to then set up potentially a multiverse. Is this his way of potentially... Because there was always rumor of a Spider-Man 4.
I mean, I've seen some videos where he talks about like some of his scripts and ideas for Spider-Man 4, but it would be pretty cool if Doc Ock appeared in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness. Maybe not as a villain or even an important character,
just there,
and maybe like some kind of cool nod to it. I mean, that would be cool. I do sometimes forget that these movies are so interconnected now that you kind of like... You have to pay attention for stuff like that from film to film, and possibly WandaVision and Doctor Strange will give us more insight as to why these things are going to happen in Spider-Man. I don't know for sure. But yeah, like, you know, Crunchy said it. We have to deal with him revealing that he's Peter Parker. Maybe it gets around the multiverse that it's Peter Parker, and so all these villains go after their respective Peter Parker.
That'd be cool.
I mean, that's a story. I don't know. I mean, the thing I wanted more than anything was, you know, we the Netflix Marvel shows, which are currently Daredevil and Punisher. The rights for those two characters went back to Marvel as of like 2 weeks ago. So technically they could use those characters again. And what I want more than anything is for Spider-Man and Spider-Man 3 to need some legal advice.
And Mr. Charlie Cox.
That's right. From our friend Daredevil, Matthew Murdock. I think that would just be the coolest thing to... He doesn't even have to appear as Daredevil.
Just a name?
Yeah, or just a name, or just show up and they talk for a little bit. But I mean, Charlie Cox, if you guys haven't seen Netflix's Daredevil, of any of the Marvel shows to watch, that would be the one. Man, that show is so incredible. But yeah, just bring him in, show like, hey... These guys are here. I mean, there's a trend on Twitter last week, #SaveDaredevil.
Yep.
Fans really want it, and I think Disney knows that. And I'm hoping we hear something about it on Thursday.
Yeah.
Where they're like, yeah, we're going to bring Disney, or we're going to bring the Netflix stuff over and keep their seasons going. So I also really like John Bernthal as the Punisher, because he a similarly amazing portrayal.
That is one I did not watch.
Punisher's a lot of fun, and he plays that part excellently. I mean, he's not as campy as like the comics. In the comic books, Punisher's very like, I'm gonna punish you.
I'm gonna punish you.
This one makes it's much more about him. He loses his family and he kind of goes on a revenge mission. And that happens throughout season 2 of Daredevil and then into his own first season of his show.
Gotcha.
Some of the other Netflix shows didn't land quite as well. So I'd understand not wanting those back, but a lot of fans are calling for John Bernthal and Charlie Cox to come back, and I think that'd be pretty sick. I even think the Punisher would be an incredible villain for Spider-Man, because he's fought anti-hero type villains before, and that's exactly what they had in season 2 of Daredevil. So I mean, you could do a similar thing with Spider-Man, but who knows?
With I will again, we're probably gonna move on, people in the chat, but let us know what your thoughts and stuff are. But I'm gonna ask you guys in the chat a question, then Nolan, I'm gonna ask you on Thursday. What do you think they potentially will announce, Disney? I made some outlandish claims or some guesses on Twitter where I said that, yes, Charlie Cox will come back as Daredevil.
That'd be great.
They'll say that. And also 3 spin-off series of the Mando. Like, again,
we didn't even get
I'm not gonna say specifics of what series, but I think that they're gonna announce a whole slate of Star Wars series coming to Disney Plus. They're going to announce Charlie Cox and then some other stuff, because maybe they're trying to do all of this Spider-Man 3 right now to announce something on Thursday.
Yeah, maybe.
Who knows?
Trying to iron out details before their investors. Maybe.
Yeah. What do you think? What's your dream thing you'd like them to potentially?
My dream,
I guess.
My dream is that they would announce a full... So after Spider-Man 3, they'd be like, oh, by the way, we're going to sign on for another trilogy with Tom Holland and just do 6 Spider-Man movies. I mean, that would be my dream. Then they would have...
like Tom Holland.
I love Tom Holland in that role. And, I mean, we've never seen Spider-Man look better, act better, be better than what he is right now in the MCU. And, yeah, I would just love them to say, like... And Kevin Feige said at one point... we would love to work with Tom and just tell Spider-Man stories all the way through high school and college for that character.
Well, if you're going to get someone that young, I feel like you ride it out for 20 years.
Yeah. And Tom Holland's my age, so, he wants to do it too, so he's all in. That'd be my dream. And then what I think they're realistically going to announce is, like you said, definitely some Star Wars series. I mean, that's 100% for sure. They're going to probably announce release dates for different Marvel movies and make a streaming / movie theater plan. They're probably going to announce a couple more things, and then maybe some more TV shows for Marvel too.
Yeah. No, the what you just said about the streaming and potential movie theater things, I think so. Cody is throwing out a guess, and honestly, it could potentially carry some weight where Disney essentially announces that they bought AMC because AMC needs money desperately, and now they're Disney Plus theaters. Like, what if that happened? Would you be like yes, or be like, oh fuck no?
I'm leaning on the oh fuck no.
Yeah.
Mostly because the government wouldn't allow that.
Yeah, I was going to say, they already have quite a bit of a monopoly.
They've cornered a lot of that market, and if they went into distribution as well, the government would shut that down. But suppose that wasn't an issue, even then, I don't know that I want Disney ruling every part of my life. Because I like Disney. I really don't have that much of an issue with the mouse, but... Man, they own everything, and they everything they make, I pretty much like it. So if they make the movie theaters too, I mean, they win. Then in 20 years, they'll make me their little slave boy, and I'll be
okay. It's looking like I will say conflict of interest. Fanjexer says they're not going to announce that he works for a company.
Oh God.
Teaser for Falcon and Winter Soldier though. That's a good reaction life. That's a good suggestion. We need that. I think, because we got like 5 to 10 seconds of something, but I think a full trailer would be cool for sure. But that's kind of our thoughts. We'll see what Thursday has in store. And Fanjexer, I'm going to DM you because I know that you have all of the details and I really, really want to know.
Yeah, it's insider trading.
Yeah. Oh, I mean, no, not insider trading. Give me a 1 or a 2 in the chat if I should buy or sell my stock, because I do have stocks in the Disneys.
So yeah, you can tune into the call, can't you?
Yeah, I might actually.
As an owner of Disney.
Yeah, I'm an owner of Disney stock. By invest, people. Anyways, we're moving on. How much time we got left? We got 12 minutes. You want to just briefly talk about Mando Chapter 14?
Sure.
Because I know that we stayed up very late watching it, and then we watched Mank after that. But episode or Chapter 14, and people out there on TikTok and YouTube, there's going to be slight spoilers. So if you have not watched Mando Chapter 14, that's on you. That is on you. If you're a fan, you should have been watching that literally that day. What did you think of Chapter 14?
I thought it was
a shorter episode.
It was,
but what did you think?
I think the shortest this season, actually.
34 minutes, I think.
Yeah,
but that doesn't even there's a recap at the beginning.
So probably like 30 minutes of actual action. The shortest episode and probably the most action packed and the most plot driven. I know when we fired it up, Jared and I were worried that it was going to be just a filler episode. A lot of that in season 1.
Because I thought we both agreed at the very start of the episode, oh, this is just going to be them on their way to this temple thing.
Right. And then first shot, you're already there.
Yeah.
And we're like, well, we were wrong.
Yeah, we were way wrong.
I honestly, that diversion, or the, what's it called when you divert someone's expectations?
Unexpected.
Yeah, that. the phrase, I'm blanking.
Spontaneous combustion.
But yeah, they surprised me with that, and you just they're bringing Grogu right up to the Seeing Stone, and they sit him down, let him do his thing, and then the rest of the time it's a video game side mission to protect that target,
protect the asset, man.
Yep, protect the asset, and so they're trying to control a point from an invading force, and. Plays very much like a video game, as pretty much the whole series has at this point, which is always kind of fun to see. But then on top of that, I mean, we get freaking Boba Fett. Holy shit, that was awesome. So Jared sent me something on TikTok. Someone had taken the voiceover from Boba Fett and Robot Chicken.
Yeah.
And they put it over the Mando episode. So when he comes back in his Boba Fett gear, he's like, "Ha! Back from the dead, assholes!"
I gotta find that clip and I'll try to tweet
Put
it out.
it on there?
People, it's really funny because it's like a 30-second cut clip of that episode, but they use all of the sound effects, all of the voiceover from it, and it's so it's so funny.
When he shoots the rocket, he's like, "Oh, my rocket couldn't possibly, could it? Oh, lock it on."
I thought it was a very kind of toned down episode. A lot of cool things because it's setting up where we're going to go for the next couple episodes with this group of people he has with now. And also one theory that we both kind of agreed on was the like glowing glyphs of that stone look very similar to Fallen Order,
yeah.
who we are kind of speculating maybe might show up in the future.
Cal Kestis.
Yes.
Yeah, man, I know a lot of people keep saying Ezra.
Mm-hmm.
From the Rebels TV show, but I really, at this point, really want it to be Cal.
Mm-hmm.
If you haven't played the Fallen Order video game, spoilers, but at the end of that game, Cal Kestis basically decides, okay, I'm not going to seek out Force-sensitive people. Instead, I'm going to kind of let them come find me.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, that's kind of exactly what's happening here. A Force-sensitive person is seeking out through the Force, and I just hope Cal would hear the call. Man, I really, really want it to be Cal Kestis.
I mean, that's the kind of the theory that's going around. If anything, the same ruins and whatnot might pop up in Fallen Order 2.
Yeah,
whatever. I mean,
cool.
if it's called Fallen Order 2, who really knows? One thing that Cody in the chat says, and it makes a lot of sense, is like, these episodes in 25 minutes are doing more than hour-long episodes, but also there's nothing wasted. From season 1, going back and looking at some of the episodes, I was like, that was wasted.
Yeah.
But when they're doing these recaps, because we were watching this episode with someone who has not watched season 1 yet, they ask kind of what was happening in these recaps, but it's stuff from season 1 that I think that they strategically laid out things that don't really connect in season 1 that are coming back
expand their story later.
Because the very last thing of this episode, who they're going to go get, was something in season 1.
Right. Yeah, and it's super interesting. I don't know if that's considered like quote unquote good writing, but it does make for a very rewarding watch. When you're watching, you're like, oh, I remember that. And I remember seeing that last year and thinking, well, okay, that's there. And now it's like, oh, okay, that's there. Like, that's part of it.
One thing I love is, like, literally, I mean, we were both watching it. I want them to keep releasing it in November because it's nostalgic almost. Because I'm like, I remember last year, it was cold. I was, like, up. I was watching this. Oh, I remember that. And now it's coming back forward.
It's a great release time.
Fanjecture in the chat is saying that Cameron Monaghan, the actor of Cal, he's
not doing anything.
Who knows? He's not busy right now.
And here's the thing: he looks like the motion capture they did. It looks exactly like him.
Well,
so
it is.
It is him. Yeah. It would be perfect. And I was trying to think. I don't know if I've ever seen a piece of film acknowledge story events from a video game before. I know we've seen video game movies, but I don't think that I've ever seen film or TV that said like, oh yeah, that stuff in that video game you played, that happened in our world.
Yeah. And that's what they're doing with this.
And
now.
According to Disney, like the Fallen Order is a canon Star Wars story, but nobody else has like recognized it as being such. Like no one else in Star Wars has been like, yeah, that's a thing. Like, I think that'd be absolutely mind-blowing.
Yeah, Jacob in the chat, what's going on, man? He just beat Fallen Order, and he's saying that would be awesome. If anything, a cameo. I mean, I could see
that might be all it is.
Yeah, it could just be a cameo, a mention potentially, because I know that that's kind of what they're doing with some of these people. They're just mentioning them, and they might come back in the future seasons or a spin-off season.
Maybe their own
series or something like that. That'd definitely be cool.
It could be because we have 2 episodes left, right? It could be at the next episode is getting Grogu back, and then the episode after that you go back to the Seeing Stone, and then Cal Kestis shows up and it cuts to black
in just like a cloak with one of his ponchos.
Yeah, they Luke Skywalker.
Yeah.
All the ponchos. Man.
God, that'd be really cool. Again, who really knows? I'm curious about that.
I'm gonna say, who was it that just played Fallen Order?
Jacob. Yep.
I'm jealous of you, man. If I could play that again for the first time, I would. That game was so great, man. Anyway, thinking past my nostalgia
There was one other thing I was going to say, but I'm kind of blanking right now. Cal, The episode Boba Fett was freaking awesome. He has rockets in his knee pads.
Freaking knee.
In his knee pads. Who would have
awesome.
thought about that? But yeah, he was badass, just wrecking shop and whatnot.
You know what I will say? You had said before that we're seeing all these things from the last season that are coming to have more importance now, and kind of thinking of like, if the new media you're putting out is dependent on the old media that's already been out to make it good, does that mean that this is good, or does it mean it's bad? I'm not 100% sure.
Are you saying like season 2 depends on season 1? Because I was going to say, that's how a show works.
yeah. But what I was thinking of is
if you haven't seen the movies, you don't know who the hell Boba Fett is.
Well, that, and also like if you haven't seen season 1 or like some of those filler episodes that didn't make sense, and now you see this stuff in season 2, it won't mean as much to you. Mm-hmm. Like, I don't know why you would just be watching season 2 for no reason, but
come on, people, watch all of them.
But I mean, Star Wars has always been full of references and Easter eggs and stuff, and I'm wondering, if you don't like know any of that stuff, is this even good? Like, is it even fun to watch if you don't know who Thrawn or any of these people are that they keep throwing, like Ahsoka Tano? Mm-hmm. If you don't know who that is, I mean, was that even enjoyable for you? I don't know.
And that's the thing is, like, I would love to almost sit down with, like, a hardcore fan, a casual fan, someone that doesn't really know anything about Star Wars, and just talk to him.
And just see what happens.
Because when the mention of Thrawn was thrown out there,
I got hyped.
I immediately was like, holy crap, they're doing it.
That's Thrawn.
But that's a character that, has been... a lot of people that are in the know love it, but I'm sure a random, like, my sister wouldn't have
in the know. I think
you
just mean nerds.
Yeah, basically. But yeah, I really enjoyed this episode. I'm curious where chapter 15, 16, 7, 8, whatever the fuck we're talking about. Yeah.
It also made me think of so now that we've seen season 2 and how some of these things connect, I have more of an appreciation for season 1 going back. And it made me think of Captain America Civil War. When I left that movie, and that's not my favorite movie, like, by a long shot. I actually really don't like that movie that much. But when I left that movie, I kind of thought, wow, all the consequences of that movie were kind of empty. Like, nothing, like, happened. Tony and Cap are fighting. Okay, cool. But then when you come back in Infinity War, that spells disaster, and they lose because of that rift. Because Tony and Cap weren't together in that movie, I think you could say that's why they lose. And so it made me appreciate the events of Civil War a lot more in hindsight. So what I'm wondering is, it does stuff like that. Is it fair to say, well, now I think Civil War is a better movie because of what future media did? Is it fair to say I think season 1, the filler episodes, were better because now they're being used in a new way in season 2? I don't know. This is just me rambling.
No, it's a good thought. I definitely, for sure. Let us know in the chat if you are a big fan of Mando, excited to see what happens.
Bosk on a segue.
Yeah, Bosk on a segue. Give me that Bosk on a segue. But before we wrap up this episode, because this is just, again, a really chill episode, just chatting with Nolan since he's here and whatnot. Nolan, do you have anything to plug before I go down kind of a list of things?
Besides my butt.
You heard it here, people. He's plugging that butt.
Okay.
NPA,
Thought
Twitter,
Train, yes.
or,
I'm not
TikTok,
Twitter.
TikTok, all that stuff, man.
Yeah, you can follow me on it's at Made by NPA, and there's spaces between those words on Instagram and TikTok. They're both the same. I'm also a streaming artist on Spotify. You can find my song Sleep Till Noon by NPA on Spotify. If you just search NPA, my name won't come up because I'm not famous yet. But if you put Sleep Till Noon NPA, you'll find it. It's a fun little upbeat song that kind of talks about some real stuff. So that's going to be fun. Also, Room 56 Studios. I'm wearing the shirt. Jared's also wearing the shirt.
Look at this. We're matching. Yay.
We had our board of directors meeting today.
Yep.
It's us. We're the board.
We got lunch together.
Yeah, that was it. It's tax deductible.
It's tax deductible.
But yeah, room56studios.com. If you have a creative project or something you'd like to work on, we would love to work on it with you. We do YouTube channel intros, music, we do editing, we can do video essays, we can do quickies trailer thing. So it's whatever you need.
Yep, graphical stuff for sure. Yeah, so check out NPA on Spotify, streaming music, all of that stuff. He's also putting some stuff on his TikTok because I'm saying it out loud now that he has to because he's been putting it off. So check out his TikTok. I don't even know what it is, but
so much pressure.
Yeah, what is your TikTok?
At Made by MPA.
Yeah, so go follow him, people. Anyways, for myself, Patreon, I'm working. I need to post another podcast. I have one. I think we might record one as well. So if you guys have topics and stuff, check that out. There's early access to certain videos over on JBuck Studios Patreon as well. Thank you everyone who is a patron over there. You're getting some fun stuff. And one of the things you got last week was Shot Ones. The few people that have seen it that are JBuck Studio patrons have loved it. Well, don't worry, because tomorrow at noon Central, 12 specific. Not Pacific, specific.
12 specific.
It's specific. You know, it's Eastern and specific time. It's specifically at 12. But yeah, check out JBuck Studios because we're dropping the first episode of Shot Ones. Seth Ott of the SoCo Show is sort of the host of that. I am on as a guest. It gets off the rails. It is fun. Nolan.
I'm not sure you were ever on the rails.
No, I was not. Episode. I was honestly out of control that episode. So check that out. It's really fun. But Room 56 Studios.
We edited that.
We edited all of it. It looks fantastic. Check that out tomorrow because it's awesome. SoCo Show podcast. We're both on that this week as well. Check that out. And then Mando every Friday for, I guess, just 2 more weeks.
Yeah, 2 more Fridays.
Yeah, 2 more Fridays. But then also I've been working on a lot of first watch and reaction videos. Copyright is a bitch on YouTube, though, so it's a lot of kind of trial and error. The one I'm working on that I wanted to release last week is Citizen Kane. I'd never seen it. I watched it. My reaction will hopefully be up tomorrow or Thursday, so stay tuned for that. But then I'm working on a bunch of fun horror franchises, I guess. So if you have movies in the chat on TikTok that you want me to watch for the first time, let me know.
Do you know what your next one's going to be?
I think
a lot of people have been saying Final Destination.
Final Destination is the one that's getting a lot of votes, and you people on YouTube, thank you so much because you guys are wanting these videos. So I think I already filmed I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Oh, that's right.
So I might finish out those because there's 2 sequels, but then I think I'm jumping over to Final Destination because I've never actually seen any of them all the way through. I've seen clips.
Like bits and pieces.
I've seen bits and pieces.
Kind of hard to avoid the clips of those because they show like the big death sequences.
Yep.
Yeah.
So I'm definitely, those will be coming in the future. They take a lot of time and editing and whatnot, so please just go like it and all that stuff. And then
better yet, share it with a friend.
Yeah, share it with a friend, people. Share it with a friend. And then one last thing before we get the hell out of here. Jacob Anders is asking, are you getting Cyberpunk? Well, surprise, surprise. Best Buy told my brother he had ordered it for me because there was some deal where he ordered multiple copies. Best Buy said it was ready to pick up today. Yeah, they lied to us.
Some stores are selling it. Like some people already have it. Yeah, they're breaking the street release.
And they're not supposed to. Best Buy said it was in. It's in stock. My brother went to go try to pick it up for us. Unfortunately, couldn't get it. So Thursday though, fingers crossed, I'll have Cyberpunk, and I think I'm gonna play the hell out of that. I'll probably stream it as well. Oh my god, I think I just threw up a little bit. Oh my god, acid reflex, people. I might stream it on YouTube or Twitch, and I need to go brush my teeth because I just threw up. Nolan, do you have anything else before we get out of here?
I want to leave now.
Yeah. Anyways, guys, thank you on YouTube, on TikTok. I am a disgusting person. This is NPA, and we out of here as soon as I find the outro. And
find it fast.
Yeah, I need to find it fast. Okay, bye, everyone.